August 27, 1916. The sound of war in Bucharest. The Romanians began to advance in Transylvania. And as you can see from this map, they advanced tremendously well into Transylvania. And by September the 21st, 1916, this was the front line. It's amazing, isn't it, that the 27th, the Romanians were here, and by the 21st of September, the Romanians were here. Yes, the Austrians had weak forces in Transylvania, but for an army in the First War to actually advance this quickly, whereas in the Western Front, either side, it took them probably about 2 days to actually, it probably took them about 6 days to get this far. It probably took the British or Germans a whole month to get this far in the Western Front. But the Romanian advance was halted on the 21st of September, and General von Falkenhayn, the commander-in-chief, was sacked, and he was replaced by Hindenburg and Ludendorff. And the Romanian entry into war further threatened the destabilisation of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Already, the Italians, Romanians, and Czechs and Slovaks in the Austro-Hungarian army were already mutinying on a large scale, as never seen before. The Romanian advance was comfortable. Contrary to Hungarian propaganda, Romanians did not rape or pillage civilian population. But, as I said in the previous video, the Romanian advance was actually halted. Romania was in a very vulnerable position. General August von Mackensen and his Danube army, with Bulgarians, Turks, mostly Germans, advanced into the Romanian region of Dobruja, and they began a scheme advancing into Dobruja. General Averescu tried to actually halt the advance of the Danube army into Dobruja by doing what was called the Flanagan manoeuvre. It was designed as a surprise attack across the River Danube, but it failed due to a huge storm. The rapid advance of the Central Powers of Germany of Mackensen into Dobruja caused panic in the HQ at Bucharest. And the Romanians from the Minging 1916 found themselves juggling their forces to and fro from this front to this front. The Russians eventually linked Romania 3 divisions and linked 3 divisions. This was not enough, and the Russians were only reluctantly sending forces to help the Romanians. Thinking the Russians can send forces here to halt the German advance, so the Germans wouldn't be able to capture all fields, but then again, they're Russians. The 4th Army managed to halt the Germans here. But as we can see from the next videos, the German army was more of a problem. This shows this map, as you can see with this one, is on the 26th of November. This is the 26th of November. So August 27th, the Romanians were here. September 21st, the Romanians were here. And by November the 26th, the Romanians were here. That is actually pretty good going. Since, if you scale this map, September 21st, the Romanians were holding the line here. By the 26th of November, they were here. Since the 18th of September. So October the 18th, November the 18th. So it took the Central Powers 2 months to get the Romanians here. Because they, although the Romanians were outnumbered, outclassed, outgunned, etc. Much of the Romanian equipment was much to be desired, and Romania was totally overwhelmed because the Germans wanted to knock Romania out of the war quickly. For one sole purpose, what I mentioned in the previous video, Ploreski. The Germans wanted to get their hands on Romania's oil fields quickly and sharply. Previously to Romania entering the First World War, Romania had been exporting large quantities of oil to the Germans, which really did help their war effort. But with the Romanians entering the war, this threatened Germany's oil supplies, since the Germans were blockaded by the British from getting oil from elsewhere. The Germans encountered fierce resistance on the Transylvanian Alps and in the Carpathian Mountains, and General Dragolina in Cargu was actually ambushed by a German attack. The Romanians tried desperately to hold the German advance. The Allies meanwhile sat on their backsides getting nothing. The Russians did not send any. It has to be noted the Russians did not bother sending any forces into this area whatsoever to stem the German advance. Because had they actually sent forces into this area, then the German advance would have been stemmed a bit more, and the oil fields at Ploreski would have been better protected. But the Russians wanted to keep their forces here to actually stop the Germans from getting to their frontier on the River Danube. It was a very sorry situation, and the Romanians could not help it. There's nothing they could do. They were outnumbered, outgunned, etc. They had a shortage of trench mortars, no poisonous gas, and outdated guns as well. So the crisis of them in the winter of 1917-1916, this was what it looked like. The Germans, with sure position, managed to break through the Romanian lines. They captured Bucharest on the 1st of December. On the 6th of December 1916, Bucharest was captured. The Romanian royal family fled to Iași in northeastern Romania, the ancient capital of Stefan cel Mare. The Romanians managed to hold the Germans here, and Austro-Hungarians here. The Bulgarians were not happy with their government with actually sending Bulgarian forces into Romania this far. And the Danube army managed to actually push the Romanians back across the Danube here. The Romanian High Command ignored all Allied requests to withdraw into Russia. The Romanians rightly refused. Unlike Belgium, Romania was overrun, but the Romanians, compared to Belgium, managed to hold on to a large chunk of their territory, whereas the Bulgarians only managed to hold on to a small part of their territory. And this is a massive amount of territory to hold for the Romanians. Moldavia. In August 1916, in summer 1916, miraculous battles were fought at Okers and Marashevsk, where the Romanians managed to hold off very huge German Austro-Hungarian attacks And the Romanian war effort in the summer of 1917 was recognised by the Allies as some of the most important fighting in the Great War so far. Out of the 860,000 men mobilised during the First World War, Romania lost 335,000 men. And to those historians, anyone who says the Romanian campaign was punitive and not important, they can fuck right off. The Romanian campaign was very important to the Allied war effort, particularly because when the Romanians sent forces into Transylvania, it drew large numbers of German troops from the Western Front, and also it destabilized the Austro-Hungarian Empire more. It stretched the German economy to breaking point, and it also gave the Allies hope of victory as well, because the Austro-Hungarian, without the Germans actually helping the Austro-Hungarians against Brüssel or against the Romanians, the war would have been probably over by Christmas, I reckon, had the Germans not decided to send so many forces to Romania or to help the Austro-Hungarians against General Alexei Brüssel, who commanded the Russian Ninth Army. In Marashesk itself today, there is a massive monument, which actually commemorates the Romanian war effort and those soldiers who gave their lives to Romania. But the Romanian war effort was not over. Despite being knocked out of the war, King Ferdinand refused to sign the Treaty of Bucharest, which the Germans raped and pillaged Romania of its oil and grain. The Romanians re-entered the war in November 1918. The Romanian army advanced deep into Transylvania, and by 1919 Romanians were here at the river Tisa. But the Hungarians were not happy, and they attacked the Romanian forces. The Romanian forces in turn invaded Hungary and captured Budapest. This was a great triumph for Romania, and the Romanians were able to actually march into the very capital of the Kingdom of Hungary. This is what victory looks like. This is confirming and inspecting the Romanian army in Aragia, which is very close to the Hungarian border now. The treacherous allies do not allow the Romanian frontier to stretch to the River Tisa, as agreed in the Treaty of Bucharest of the summer of 1916, and the allies cowardly backtracked on it.